Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today I want to do something fun, and I saw a comment was left requesting me to do a video like this, and I thought it was a great idea. And it's looking at going off the assumption that JD Vance, the Vice President of the United States, is the Republican nominee for 2028. Who are some potential Republicans that could be his running mate and potentially his Vice President if he were to win the 2028 presidential election? And I'm recording this video right after I just did a video on this new poll by McLaughlin and Associates that is a 2028 Republican primary poll. And going over the poll, I made some allusions to a lot of potential candidates that I thought could be potentially good VPs for JD Vance. So I thought I would pick 5 people, either, or they all are on this list, but just 5 Republicans that I think I could see being JD Vance's potential vice president. Obviously, there are way more than 5 Republicans I think could be Vance's vice president across the United States: senators, governors, potentially members of Congress, such as House members and representatives. But I do think I narrowed it down for this video to 5. There could be more, but I've done for 5. Just a brief honorable mention to Elise Stefanik, the current United Nations ambassador for President Trump's administration. She's someone I could consider being one of the 5 as well, but I just want to make her an honorable mention for this one. I don't think she's going to be on the list for VP yet, but maybe in the top 10 she probably would be. Governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, is another honorable mention. I could see him more running for president. I can't really see him running for vice president, but I did want to give him a brief little shout out first. So this is in no particular order. These are just 5 people I picked out that I think could conceivably be in the running for Vance's vice president. Number 1 is Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She obviously rose to fame being President Trump's press secretary, succeeding Sean Spicer in the role. I believe she was President Trump's second press secretary. Obviously, she's the daughter of former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee, and she's gone on to be a very loyal friend of President Trump as governor of Arkansas as well, getting elected to that in 2022. She has been a consistent ally of the president and has been very strong and seen as a rising star in the Republican Party as well. I know she spoke at the RNC convention in 2024. And she's someone that I think would be a very strong candidate to be VP with JD Vance. She's obviously from the state of Arkansas. She's not going to bring any one particular state advantage, like picking someone from a swing state like Wisconsin or Pennsylvania or something. But I think she would provide a presence on the ticket of a woman trying to help the Republican Party get more women voters and maybe more suburban voters. And I think at very least she's a very intriguing option for vice president, someone who is certainly very loyal to the Make America Great Again movement, as is now Vice President JD Vance, and kind of continuing the legacy of President Trump. So she's someone I think will be in consideration for vice president. Another, again, no particular order, but number 2 on the list, I have Tulsi Gabbard. And I know you may be thinking, she's a former Democrat. She's officially switched to being a Republican now. She's going to be, or she's trying to be, as of the time of recording this video, she's not yet been confirmed, but she's trying to serve in President-elect Trump's cabinet as Director of National Intelligence. And I think she is someone that would be honestly a rock star to be on a Vance ticket, because she represents a different part of the Republican Party, which is like former disgruntled Democrats and moderates coming to the Republican Party and voting in big numbers for President Trump in 2024. And I think the thought process here is by selecting Tulsi Gabbard to be his vice president, JD Vance would be trying to get more of these maybe people who are dissatisfied with the Democratic Party in the direction that the Democrats are going on a lot of issues, maybe on pharmaceutical issues or on foreign policy issues and such, like Tulsi Gabbard was very disgruntled with, which caused her to support President Trump and join the Republican Party. I think by Vance selecting Gabbard could be a sign of Vance doubling down on a lot of the Make America Great Again movements and issues and trying to appeal to more of these disgruntled voters across the country. And since a lot of the people across the country are unenrolled and not to the Republican or Democratic party, on paper, on face value, this could be a very actually smart and intriguing pick. And I think at very least, Tulsi Gabbard needs to be in consideration for vice president for JD Vance. And I think it would be a very, very smart for him to at least consider it. I don't know at the end of the day if she would be chosen to be his VP, but I think Vance, I believe, did a tweet a few days ago expressing support for Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. about bringing these new Republicans into the party, and I think it would be a very powerful statement if he did appoint her to be his vice president, his running mate. And again, she would check off a lot of the boxes that Sarah Huckabee Sanders did as well, with trying to appeal to women voters and maybe more suburban and moderate voters who don't really feel at home in either party. She would be a very good example of someone who was not really feeling a home in either party and helping the President-elect Trump, now President Trump, get elected. So I think she'd be a very strong candidate for Vance to consider. Number 3 is Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. I think any Republican who can win the state of Virginia in 2021 is someone that should be at very least taken serious. Virginia is a state that used to be a solid Republican state until the early 2000s when it started to become more of a swing state. President Barack Obama won it twice in 2008 and 2012, and Virginia very quickly became a likely Democratic state at the presidential level. And for a minute in 2020 there, it looked like it was becoming maybe even a safe Democratic state. And then Glenn Youngkin was able to win a very close election in 2021, flipping the Commonwealth of Virginia red. And that is someone that I think needs to be worth noting as someone that could be a vice president. Glenn Youngkin, I think, also offers a different Republican Party than some of the other candidates on this list for vice president. He's not necessarily the most pro-MAGA Republican on this list. He's the governor of Virginia. He got elected governor of Virginia by embracing President Trump, but not like going over the top with it, kind of keeping the president at a distance while focusing on Virginia issues and making it a very local race. And that is a big reason why he was able to win. He did not reject the president. He did not like go over the top saying how much he loved the president. He essentially said, I like the president, I support the president, but this race is about Virginia. And I think Youngkin would be someone that would bring more of a policy first, less noise, more level-headed policy approach to a ticket with Vance, and that's someone I could see Vance potentially considering if he were to run as well. It'd be a lot different approach than the doubling down on MAGA approach, but maybe Vance would do that for that exact reason. So I think Youngkin is certainly someone that Vance would consider. Number 4, Virginia will still probably be a likely Democratic state in 2028, but maybe having Youngkin at the top of the ticket may make it a little bit more competitive. I'm not sure if it will, but that could be a thought process as well. Number 4, we have Marco Rubio, who was obviously a former U.S. Senator and now serving as President Trump's Secretary of State. Marco Rubio was ran for president before, obviously in 2016. He was also one of the finalists for President Trump to select as vice president for 2024, obviously losing out to JD Vance, but all the rumors were he was in the final 3 along with Governor Doug Burgum of North Dakota, who again, he could be someone that could be a potential vice president, but I think cabinet member would make more sense for Burgum. Rubio is someone that's been a rising star in the Republican Party for about 10 to 15 years now. And I really think it's a matter of time when Rubio is not either at the top of the ticket or vice president of the Republican side. And for a while, it looked like it might have actually been 2024. JD Vance really kind of came into the headlines in the last few days or so that he would be the vice presidential nominee. For a minute, it looked like it might have been Marco Rubio. So I think Rubio, obviously being of Cuban descent, Cuban-American descent, he brings a different type of Republican than a lot of Republicans are. He would be, I believe, the first non-white Republican nominee either in a very long time or maybe even ever. I'm not 100% sure on that. You can fact check me on that. I'm not totally sure. But he brings a different type of diversity to the Republican Party and trying to appeal to more voters. Obviously, Florida will be a safe Republican state either way, but he may be able to reach new voters and add something very valuable to the ticket. And Rubio's ambition, obviously serving as Secretary of State for President-elect Trump, has shown his loyalty and agenda to the Make America Great Again movement and to President Trump. And I think he is someone that would certainly be trustworthy to serve as JD Vance's vice president should he be asked. I think Rubio was definitely one of the stronger choices and certainly someone I would see in my top 5 for potential vice presidents in 2028 for Vance to consider. And being in Trump's administration only helps him. And my last, number 5, I have Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina. And this one is an interesting one because Tim Scott, I believe, was also under consideration briefly to be President Trump's VP in 2024. He did not get as far in the list as obviously Rubio and Vance did, but he's someone that I think would be very smart for the Republicans to at least consider. My only holdback on Scott is kind of like Youngkin in a way. Scott's not really a Make America Great Again Republican. He was aligned to more Mitch McConnell early on when he was in the Senate, and obviously friends with Lindsey Graham. So he's not exactly the most Make America Great Again choice, which Vance may stray away from. But obviously, African American Republican senator in South Carolina. He's chairing the National Republican Senatorial Committee for 2026, which is in charge of getting Republicans elected. Obviously, highly respected among his fellow Republican senators. And I'm sure JD Vance, serving in the Senate with him for 2 years, will attest to how well liked Tim Scott is. So at very least, he's someone that I think is worthy of consideration, and kind of like Marco Rubio trying to bring in different voters to a Republican Party that, if you look quickly based on what President Trump did in 2024, is attracting a wide coalition of people, more diverse Republican Party than it's probably ever been in a very long time. So maybe Tim Scott can also help at the top, or being a VP with JD Vance at the top of the ticket with that. So those are 5 Republicans that I think JD Vance either is considering or should consider to be his running mate in 2028. Obviously, the 2020 presidential election is a long ways away. We're probably like 3 to 3.5 years away from even getting an idea of who Vance's running mate could be if Vance is the nominee. And there are a lot of Republicans to potentially choose from. Again, as I mentioned, the latest poll shows a lot of good Republicans I think could be under consideration to be chosen by Vance as a running mate. But I want to do this quick video because I thought it was fascinating, a fascinating idea, a fascinating topic. And, I truly do read all the comments, so I appreciate who left that comment. I really appreciate it. It's a great idea, and I'm glad I made this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you give this video a like and leave a comment below telling me what you think, who you think maybe Vance's VP would be, or any other video suggestions. Please let them know. I will be checking them out. Also, remember to hit subscribe to my channels. I post a new video every single day, so make sure you don't miss those when they come out. Thank you so much for watching, and hope to see you in a future video. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like. And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button. And make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day, so I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.